Hello all, Dominic here again. Welcome to another video. I hope you enjoyed my early video today about my 250 subscriber special, and I also hope you enjoy this video as well. Now, this video is going to be something Doctor Who related, and it's actually a bit of an interesting what if video. But it's actually going to be about what if Scream of the Shalka became modern day Doctor Who. Now, for those who are unaware, Scream of the Shalka was an animated Doctor Who story which was broadcasted online in 2003. It was part of a new animated series which was supposed to bring Doctor Who back, but also celebrate the 40th anniversary of the programme. And during that time, the BBC also announced a televised series. And obviously during that time, you know, once Shalka had aired, most people were mostly focusing on the new televised series. So with that, Scream the Shalka was pretty much forgotten and most people focused on the new televised series. But what if this attempted animated series became the programme that we grew up with? So just a quick little history here. Scream the Shalka was announced on the 9th of July 2003, and for a lot of fans thinking about it, they probably were excited about it, even though it's going to be an animated series, but also air online. And during this time, there hadn't been any Doctor Who since the TV movie in 1996 with Paul McGann. So I think for a lot of fans, it probably was something a little bit unexpected. But unfortunately, on the 26th of September 2003, it was also announced by the BBC that they were bringing back Doctor Who on television. So this was probably a little strange time for a lot of Doctor Who fans, thinking, well, what's going to be the future, the animated series online or the new televised series? And by the end of November 2003, Scream the Shalka aired. It lasted for 6 weeks from the 13th of November to the 18th of December in 2003. And by the time Shalka had aired, most people had their eyes on the televised series, and the rest of the animated series was pretty much forgotten, so it was. But by February 2004, there was a lot of speculation about the animated series and whether or not it would continue on. And because of that, there was a lot of questions about that, so there was. The following month, on 22nd of March 2004, Christopher Eccleston was announced to be the new Doctor on the TV series. And during this time, things became a lot worse. More stories were pretty much shelved, so there were, and speculation started to begin whether or not Eccleston was the 10th Doctor or the 9th Doctor. No one actually knew. Until April 2004 came, and the animated series was pretty much dead and buried at that point. All eyes were on the televised series, which was going to be starting the following year, and the Shalka became forgotten, so it did. Which is a shame, but that's just, you know, what happened and stuff. So what if this became modern day Doctor Who? Imagine, you know, we celebrated the 15th anniversary back in November last year. What if the televised series never happened and we focused on the animated series? So, as we all know, Richard E. Grant played the 9th Doctor in this story. So he did. And the plan of this series was going to be a 12-episode series, with 3 episodes told over 4 stories. Scream the Shalka was the only one that ever got produced and made, so it did. But there was also another story planned called Blood of the Robots. Now, unfortunately, there isn't a lot of knowledge and there isn't a lot of knowledge about this story because it was pretty much quietly discontinued and shelved and stuff, and that's just, you know, the way it went. And from what I've heard, Blood of the Robots was supposed to have been broadcasted around early 2004, maybe January, maybe February 2004, at a guess, so it is. And one thing that's actually quite interesting was, from what I've read from other interviews during this time, Richard E. Grant was not a fan of Doctor Who, but he was actually willing to get into the programme and learn about it, which is quite intriguing. To honestly read that. I was reading that and I thought, that's actually quite interesting, that Richard E. Grant had never grown up with this programme. So, yeah, that's just what happened. One thing, obviously, I don't know is how long would Richard E. Grant have played the role for? I honestly don't know that, and I don't think anyone else knows that. Maybe might have stayed for 2 years, maybe 3, he might have stayed until 2006. I overall don't know. That might have been a guess. I really, really don't know. So that's the thing about this attempted series. There isn't a lot of information after Shalka. One thing, again, to also of a guess, is who would have taken over from the role. I really don't know. I really, really don't know. Like I just said, that's the problem with this attempted revival, is there isn't a lot of information, and it's more of a guessing game when it comes to a what if, really. But I think it would have been interesting to see what would have happened. Would they have aired it on television? I think that could have eventually happened, because in 2003, not everyone had a computer, not everyone had an internet connection, and for the time, the bandwidth, from what I've read and looked at it in retrospective, it was okay for the time, but again, it was quite primitive, so it was. But I do believe if this became a success, they would have aired it online. Maybe they would have aired it online a week later, or maybe 2 weeks later. I don't know. I have read it did air on the BBC Red Button, so it did back around like early 2004. But that's all I've read and stuff. That's all I've really heard about it and stuff. But it's sort of an interesting what if, you know what I mean? Because there were a lot of elements in there that were undoctorish at the time. But I think in some ways it was quite ahead of its time. It really, really was. Not just in the tech department, but I think in the story itself, there were certain moments that make you think, wow, you know what I mean? You sort of see a bit of David Tennant or Christopher Eccleston or Matt Smith. You know what I mean? And that's the thing about it. And also you streamed it, so you did. Which, again, streaming was very uncommon back in 2003. It was something that most people didn't even really do, you know what I mean? But it's an interesting era of Doctor Who, the Richard E. Grant era of Doctor Who and stuff. Personally, I would have loved to have seen more of this. I really, really would. I know Big Finish do the Unbound stories. I don't know if they'd ever, want to do any sort of Shalka Doctor stories with Alison and even the Master. That'd have been really, really interesting. You know what I mean? Would we have had more companions in this series? How long would Alison have stayed with the Doctor? We don't know. What other enemies would the Doctor and Alison have faced off? You know what I mean? It's just interesting to see that. It really, really, would have been interesting to see that, really. I think maybe Richard E. Grant would have stayed with maybe 2 years, 3 years on the most. Would we have had previous Doctors come back? And also, what that would have been interesting is, would we have seen a regeneration from the 8th Doctor to this version of the 9th Doctor? Would they have brought Paul McGann back? Again, I think that would have eventually would have happened in the far future. How long would this revived series lasted? Again, it's a guessing game really and stuff, but I think I'm happy with the series that we got on television, but I would have loved to see more of this. It would have been really, really interesting to see how far they would have gone. And I think the technology would have improved a lot quicker as well. Because again, it used flash animation, so it did, which is a bit crude, it's a bit, outdated, but I still like the story. It's really, really good. You can definitely tell it's from, 2003 and stuff, but never let that stop you, because it's a really, really good story. It really, really is. Definitely something well worth checking out. A bit of an oddity when it comes to Doctor Who. It really, really is. And, yeah, I just want to end the video, and I just want to say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and stuff. A little bit weird, a little bit different, but I wanted to share my thoughts about this, so I do. Yeah, interesting, you know what I mean? Yeah, an interesting what if continuation, if you want to say that. So yeah, so I just want to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And for anyone who is a Doctor Who fan, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. You know, would you have loved to see more of this? You know what I mean? What do you think would have happened? I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. So I just want to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all on Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and see you all later on. Bye.